Greetings, initiates. Jedediah Thomas, the Mind Master here. Today, I wanted to do something a little bit out of the ordinary and announce the launching of something that could have a massive impact on you, your business, your future, and a lot of areas of your life. Now, be sure to, like and subscribe on the channel. Follow for more content about the mind, the subconscious mind, traumas, limiting beliefs, motivation, and a lot of stuff being added on top of that as well. Now, a little bit of backstory here before I kind of go into what I'm doing now, what I'm launching, is that basically throughout my life, I've had a lot of different things that I've tried to do, a lot of different things that I've kind of felt called to do, and a lot of different things that I've kind of like done, put one foot in, one foot out, just trying to feel my way around life. And basically none of those things had ever worked out in the past. And so basically, I was really looking for a way that I could find my own purpose in life. Like, why am I here? Because, I have all of this experience, I have all of these skills and all of this background, and, a lot of things kind of working in my favor. And yet at the same time, it seemed like I was kind of beating my head against a wall. It seemed like nothing would work. I would try things, they would fall apart for completely unrelated reasons. And it was like nothing that I tried was actually the thing I was supposed to be doing. And I was getting basically to the point of frustration, which is like, okay, I got to the point where I was like, well, maybe I don't have a purpose, right? Like, is purpose actually a thing? Am I just like making all this up and like life is useless and I don't even know why I'm here? But in the process of kind of figuring that out, a lot of things really started to fall into place in my life. And let me kind of explain how that all unfolded. So basically, probably just over a year ago now, about last December, I believe, somewhere around there, I basically transitioned into becoming a mindset coach. And it was something that I had never really thought about being, right? It's something I never really wanted to do. But the reason I became that is because I was working, I had gotten really good at sales. I had become the head sales coach of a really large online sales agency. And basically, I was kind of doing my own sales coaching before that. And then when I got hired there, it was a conflict of interest. So, well, I couldn't do sales coaching on my own anymore. So I was like, well, I still want my own business just in case. I still want to do something on the side. And I really enjoy coaching, which I just kind of learned from the sales coaching. And so I actually was like, okay, well, if I can't do sales coaching, why don't I become a mindset coach, right? And the reason I kind of went in that direction is because for the last, 8 or 9 years, I was like extremely, traumatized and broken and all of this stuff. And I had looked for the solution for myself for many years, and I had come across like a lot of really powerful modalities, a lot of things that have somewhat benefited me. And I was like, well, I could probably employ some of these tools to be able to help other people. So around last December is when I actually first started working on my first client. It wasn't a paid client. It was just kind of more of a, you know, let me see if I can help this person kind of thing, because I, had no idea what I was doing. And what's really funny about that is that despite me not really knowing what I was doing, and despite the problems that I was facing having nothing to do with any of the modalities that I had come across, I was able to come up with my own methodologies that ended up not only resolving the problem in that person, but also being so ridiculously powerful, they've basically invalidated every other mindset tool on the planet. Like they're unbelievably powerful, and I'm working on like way more people now, and it's like everything is falling into place. Now, this is not really about me per se, or what I can do with the mind. This is about the only reason I came up with all of that stuff is because I started to actually work in something that was my purpose, right? Like that was kind of like my own um, you could call it an epiphany, right? It's like I had to be doing something that was in alignment with my purpose. And prior to that, I had done similar things. I was looking at becoming a priest when I was religious, and I was looking at becoming a psychologist when I wasn't religious. It was always kind of like along those lines, but kind of never in a million years had I or would I have imagined that I'd be doing what I am right now, because these methodologies just simply didn't exist a year ago. So anyways, I've been working on people, and what I realized as part of that is that I'm working with very powerful energies. You could call it electromagnetism, you could call it spiritual energy, you could call it a number of different things. But how I heal people involves working with these kind of divine powers, or whatever you want to call it, right? Depending on how crazy I sound regarding that. But my point is that most of the time, like, people were like having absolute, like, radical breakthroughs in record amounts of times. Like, I fix things that are not supposed to be fixable. But then there's other people, very rare, but they were actually cut off from a higher power, from a divine energy, from the source, or from God, or whatever you want to call it. Or you could say they were cut off from this electromagnetism that kind of runs through everything. So what I realized is that in order for people to actually heal on the highest level, they actually have to open themselves to these energies, because that's how they're being healed. And in order for them to do that, it's kind of a stretch to just say, okay, have faith, believe in God, whatever, and then everything will work out, because that's nonsense, right? That's what religions do, and it doesn't work in a lot of different ways. So what I realized is that one of the absolute key components that has to be in place before I can truly help people on the highest level, right? I can still do a lot of stuff with them, but like, for me to actually completely radically transform everything about their life, they have to be in alignment with a purpose, right? A divine higher plan. And it's the same thing that happened to me. As soon as I accepted that in my own life and my own self, all of this stuff was handed to me from nowhere. Like, all of these methodologies just came from absolutely nowhere, and they're the most powerful on the planet. But before I accepted my purpose, my life was hell. I went through so many roadblocks, so many problems, because I was resisting the thing that I knew I was supposed to do intrinsically, and I was doing all of these other things, right? I was either doing things totally unrelated, or I was doing things that, like, were kind of in alignment with it, but was not actually what my real calling was. And so it was really that moment that changed for me, that I know is required for change in other people, right? And yeah, I can meet one on one with people, to help them figure all this out, right? But it would get expensive for them, because, like, I'm here to, like, radically change your life in a very short amount of time, and a lot of that is like exploratory, trying to figure things out yourself, figure things like your place in the world. So it's kind of a longer process. So I was really um, struggling to figure out an answer to this. And along comes, basically, a friend that I had, done some work on, but they suggested a kind of marketing guru. You've probably heard of him, or you may have heard of him, Russell Brunson, the guy that, founded ClickFunnels. And I got to reading his books, and basically his books were the solution that I was looking for. So what he suggested in his books is that uh, in order to help people on the highest level, you need to create a movement. So I was like, that's exactly what I need to do here, right? So enter stage left, the initiates of the mysteries of the mind. So this is a group that I just launched a couple weeks ago, absolutely brand new. It's on School, and basically the idea is that in order for me to heal you, you have to have clarity, right? And so all this group is about finding your purpose, finding clarity, finding your reason for being here in life, right? In accordance with the divine plan, so that you can actually open yourself to some of these higher energies, right? And I'm not talking about a specific god or gods or anything like that. I'm talking about like the source of life, electromagnetism, and you can open yourself to that and actually be healed on the highest level. So what this group does is basically um, we meet, once a month for monthly coaching, and we'll go into basically anything that you need to go into. If there's struggles in your life, if there's struggles in your business, if you have questions about, you know, the universe, the soul, your place in it, all of these things, basically everything that leads towards clarity, and will help break everything down so that you can actually be receptive to not only a higher calling in life, that things will actually be a heck of a lot easier for you once you start pursuing that, but you can actually be healed from your traumas, your beliefs, from, some of these nasty spiritual things that latch on to you, and, multiple personalities and all of this stuff. And all of it comes down to being open to that energy, right? And this is like totally, take it for a grain of salt, but just take it for face value for right now. The important thing here is that you're open to the idea that there is some plan for your life, and until you actually find that plan and start following that plan, you're going to be missing something. There's going to be um, some part of fulfillment that you're lacking, right? No matter how rich you get, no matter how much material success you get, there's still going to be a void there, and that void can only be filled once you start fulfilling your purpose. Now, let me actually break down what we're going to be going over in the group, so you can actually see and decide, whether this group is something that you want to be joining or not. Okay, so if you'll see in front of you now, there is, a chart of chakras, and you've heard of chakras, but I've been able to actually kind of mesh the chakra model with what I'm doing with my group, the Initiates of the Mysteries of the Mind. So basically, what we want to do, right, is we want to actually focus on the highest level of your life, which is purpose. Because everyone, like, people do coaching, they do life coaching, they do business coaching, they do all this different stuff, and it always starts at a lower place, right? It's like, okay, what impact do you want to make in the world, right? What legacy do you want to leave behind? Why are you not getting results? What actions do you need to take? Or like goal setting, set smart goals, right? Or what is your vision for the future? But nobody actually starts with your divine purpose, right? The purpose that was given to you for being here, right? Because you can have a vision that's not in alignment with your purpose. You can have goals and actions and results that's not in alignment with your purpose. And you can create a massive impact and a massive legacy that's not in alignment with your purpose, right? And then, depending on how sinister you go, that can actually be really bad. If you look at, say, like, Hitler and Stalin and all of these like bad guys that made a massive impact, massive legacy, but they hurt a lot of people doing it, right? That's what we're trying to get away from. So that's the result of not starting from your divine purpose, right? So what we do in this group is we focus on helping you understand why you're here, right? We have stuff about vision and goals and action and all that stuff, but the most important thing is starting to be in alignment with your higher purpose, the thing that was given to you. It's something that you don't choose yourself, but you can choose whether you accept it or not, right? And so let me actually kind of break this down one layer deeper, so you can kind of follow along a little better here. And now what you're seeing in front of you here is a deeper breakdown of these different layers, so you can kind of really understand, what they are and what they mean. So starting at the top is, like I was saying, your reason for being, right? There is a specific reason you're here, and you can choose to fulfill it or not. And that's ultimately your choice, but fulfilling it will lead to personal fulfillment, will lead to happiness, will lead to abundance, and cutting yourself off from it will lead to a lot of problems, some big, some small, but you'll never actually have that true fulfillment. Your vision is basically how you see your purpose made manifest. Another way to look at it is like, what kind of like thing are you actually going to create in the world to achieve your purpose or your goals or whatever. And that's really, like I said, depending on, what your aim is, whether it's purpose driven or not. Now, your goals, of course, your milestones are achieving your vision. That's pretty standard. Your actions, the things you have to do, like the action steps to achieve your goals. And then the results are like the actual things that immediately happen, right? You go out and you knock on someone's door and they answer, right? Or you go work at a job and you get, your first paycheck and you start, actually doing things for that company, or whatever it is, or you start your company and you get your first few your first few customers, right? So that's like your immediate results. Now, how you affect the world while you're alive is your impact, right? So we're looking at people like Elon Musk, people that are like massively affecting the world right now. Bezos, all of these billionaires and millionaires that are around. Like, what are the things that you're actually doing right now in your life to affect the world? And then finally, your legacy is like, okay, what systems and what um, stuff are you going to leave in place, not only for the world, but for your own, kids and grandkids and whatnot. So we're looking at like heritage and inheritance, but also like brand legacy, like say like Steve Jobs. Apple's not going to go away anytime soon, right? So we're looking at all of these things, but the main thing is that it starts from the highest level, which is your purpose. And that's absolutely critical here. And that's the thing that changed my life when I started following that and started listening to that. And it's night and day from what it was before. Like, everything is just falling into place in ways that I could have never imagined ever in my wildest dreams. So basically, this is it's still a fairly new group, right? So it'll be growing over time. I'll be adding content. We'll be doing more coachings. Occasionally, we'll have different bonuses. Just it's something that is not an immediate next step. It's something that's a lifelong journey that we're here to kind of help you understand what that is, and start to grow and start to align yourself with that. And because of that, we haven't actually set it at a very high price point. It's only $20 a month. So if you're interested in that, either drop a comment here saying that you're interested, or you can find me on Facebook. You can click my link below and make sure that you say initiates or something, so I know that you saw this video and that's what you're interested in, and I'll get you more information on that, and you can decide whether you want to join or not. So it's been a pleasure talking with you today. This is just kind of a little bit different type of video than I've normally done, but I just wanted to announce the launching of that group, what it's for, why it's important, why it's going to impact your life, and then you can decide to join or not. All right. Well, once again, it's been great having you. I'm Jedediah Thomas, the Mind Master. Stay tuned for more content and follow along. And like I said, either comment below or find me on Facebook, and then we'll get to talking about the group. All right. Bye.